when you see President Obama supporting the Egyptian revolution and saying that this is changing of history, this will make Syrian people think, or made them think, that the West is cooperating and the West is going to help them. But they were so disappointed, because when you see that honesty in the face of President Obama, you think this guy is not gonna allow victims to be brutalized and killed. This was something very difficult for Syrian people to do, because for 41 years they are so scared. They got used to let it go and not comment because they were killed. From each family there was one who is being taken to jail, and until now we don't know what happened to these people. Syrian people has suffered a lot. For 41 years they were taken all their rights in humanity. There was no health care, no proper education, no proper life. Minimum requirement that was taken from Syrian people, so they have right to do the revolution. How long they have to wait? You have to go back to the century and see in the 60s, when Alawi people were planning to take over the country after the country was being occupied for centuries. Syria was occupied by the Turkish people by the name of Islam, while we were the Muslims people. And also after that it was occupied by French people. And then Alawi people were involved a lot in the army, and that was a famous word of president. His name is Amin al-Hafez. He said that whenever I want to ask people to join the army, I see most of them are from Alawi people. So Alawi people wanted to, they planned it properly, you can say. So they went to the army. One of them was Hafez Alasad. And then they were graduating in the army until they took high positions. And then after that, they were planning a lot of coups. So you can see that the period of from 63 until 70, it was full of coups where the military was having conflicts with the civilians. And then a lot of coups took place until the time when Hafez Alasad made 2 coups until he was successful in the 70s. So he took over the country, and then he was supported by his people very strongly. In the time when he took over, he stated that, okay guys, we have to do some kind of peace in the country, and we want to stop all these coups. So this was called the correction movement. You can say they call it al-Haraka al-Tasihiyya in the 70s, when he agreed with all the parties that, okay, we have to stop doing coups, and then we have to look after the country. People in that time were happy because they thought that they got finally the right person who will really make peace and who will rule the country properly. He will make a good social system in the country. He would make a good health care system. He will build the country. He will make good infrastructure for people to live in, good education, building roads, streets and everything, hospitals. But then that was totally different from the perspective of Hafez Alasad, where he wanted to build his own society and he does not care for others. So what he did, he was planning to take over Syria for him and for his own people, which were Alawi people who supported him. So he built up a spy system where he put spies everywhere, dispute them everywhere in the country. Even in the families, you can have spies, people who spy on their relatives, their neighbors. Between every three friends, you can find one spy who will make problems, trouble between the friends. Subsequently, people started to hate each other, and then like, because who is putting us in this trouble? Who is causing that my brother goes to jail? Some people come to take him for what we don't know, where also we don't know. So this guy is just gone, disappeared. Years and years, if you ask about them, nobody knows anything about them. In that period, they decided to exclude Kurdish people. Al-Assad took their Syrian nationalities from them, saying that, oh, they are not descended from Arabs, so they are not Syrians. Kurdish people are Syrian, and they love Syria. They love to live in Syria. With that action he did, he made sure that he cut the leg of this people so they don't make coups. And what he said, because he always liked to give excuses for what he does, so people don't criticize him, he said that Kurdish people are trying to get to occupy Syria and make Kurdistan. So he made the Syrian people hate these people and think that they are coming to occupy Syria, which was very wrong, because they gave so much sacrifices for Syria to be freed from the Turkish occupation and from French occupation. We can't forget Shukri al-Quwatli and other famous people who were leading Syria to the freedom. And then he moved to the next danger for him, which was the Hama people. Hama people were very honored people who has a lot of good history, which make them ready to rule Syria. For him, that was also some kind of hazard, and he needs to avoid them. In that time, Iranian revolution, they call it Islamic Revolution of Iran, that was in the 80s. And when they took over the country, that gave Alawi people, which are similar to Shia, they are different. We're going to talk about this in details later on. When the Iranian revolution succeeded, then they came more empowered. So he killed Hama people over the night. He came to the city and he was hitting the city by tanks, snipers. He was killing everybody in Hama city. Even people who tried to flee, they were killed because the town were surrounded by tanks and snipers. So there was no way that people can flee or get help from outside. For 2 or maybe more, 2 months, he was hitting the city and he was killing almost everybody in the city. We thought that nobody is going to survive from Hama city. So he was taking the money, he was taking the gold of the people there. He killed as much as he could. And then what he said that this was Muslims Brotherhood movement, and then he was trying to have control, and that was subsequent of the Iranian Revolution. Iranian Revolution was Shia people, like Hama people were Sunnah. So we'll talk a little bit in details about this. Instead of him saying that he got support from the Iranian Revolution, he said that the Muslims Brotherhood were reacting. So he made everybody think that there will be another Muslim revolution in Syria and Muslims Brotherhood are going to take over the country. And that was in the 1982 when he hit Hama. After that, in 1985, I have seen this in my eye and I was a kid. He was pumping the buses who were taking soldiers, the youth of Sunni people. So these youth were going to the military, so he had, like, I can't remember how many buses. We were traveling from west of Syria to the center, to Damascus, and then in the road we have seen so many buses. People were killed, people were pieces of the bodies, heads and hands. I remember this. One of those people were killed was my cousin. When they brought the corpse of my cousin to his mother, he said that this is an accident. Like, an accident will not make the body grounded meat. An accident can hit the neck or something, break the neck, break the body, but not make it grounded meat. He was always having excuses for his crimes, and then he says that this is action of Muslims Brotherhood. We never practice any Muslims Brotherhood. Where is this come from. In Syria, we don't have any Muslims Brotherhood. He brought up all this propaganda just to cover himself and get the support of the West, because everybody is going to be really scared. Even us will be scared from Muslim Brotherhood if there is. But in Syria there was, but that was a way for him to take control. This all was followed by a lot of actions done by Rifat Alasad. Rifat was the brother of Hafez Alasad. This guy was having his people to take the hijab clothes of women in the street. They forbade the hijab in schools and at work. A lot of people has to leave schools because of this. I had to wear hijab for a few days just to show that we are free to do whatever we want to do. So that was so much with the society who was calling for peace, but for Hafez al-Assad and his people, they did not have the intention to have peace. They wanted to have control, full control. He got rid of his brother, Rifat al-Assad, saying that he is the good man and Rifat al-Assad was the bad one who was doing everything while he was doing everything with his army. If you want to be a good president and you want to gain the support of your people, you don't go and kill them and just let them live in fear to gain their support. You want to give them proper life and proper conditions so you gain their love and their support. But in his perspective, he does not care. He is ready to kill everybody in Syria just to gain the land and keep the chair. So we lived like this for 41 years. So people were so scared even to speak up their mind with their own family, because we would think that the walls are being spied. We have any spyware somewhere at home. That's how much we were scared. So we had to shut up for 41 years. What he did, he isolated Syria totally from the West.